This show, we mentioned the My Lai incident, how that's been covered over. We mentioned the rape of teen boys by U.S. soldiers that was filmed by female soldiers in Abu Ghraib prison and the sodomy that took place there. We mentioned on this show the amount of female soldiers who are raped. The percentages are off the charts in the branches of the military. How it's covered over, how it's not mentioned. What is mentioned continuously is the need for more money. The need to make sure we protect foreign nations from dictators. But Butler had a different take. Butler was a Marine, a highly decorated Marine. And I want to start by quoting the most decorated military officer in U.S. history. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? The most decorated. After Butler retired from the military, he wrote one of the most important critiques of the U.S. military. He wrote a booklet entitled War is a Racket, and here is an excerpt. I helped make Mexico, especially Tampico, safe for American oil interests in 2014. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a safe place for the national city bank boys to collect revenues. I helped in the rape of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefits of Wall Street. This is a Marine general speaking. This isn't a hippie with flowers in his hair. The record of U.S. racketeering through the military goes on. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Bank House of Brown Brothers in 909 through 912. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for American sugar interests in 1916. In China, I helped to see to it that Standard Oil went its way unmolested. This decorated Marine, Darren, seems to indicate that all of these military incursions, they weren't to espouse and push democracy. Mm-hmm. They were to open a door for corporate interest. Do you think that may have continued in Iraq? Do you think that may be why we are trying to get a military hold on Afghanistan for 16 years? Because secretly we want an oil pipeline to go through there? You think Smedley Butler was on to something?
Yeah.
Now, here's the bottom line of this, and I'm going to move off of it. If you're going to remember the heroism of soldiers and bring tears to your eyes, you need to look at the whole picture, because then maybe we'll stop the machine. Maybe we'll stop the killing business. The business that, as Butler said, was a racket, and wrote the famous book I recommend you get, ladies and gentlemen. You also look at this article in Grid, and that book is called War is a Racket that Senator Peters just voted to support for $750 million budget.
Billion.
A racket that has a Pentagon that somehow has lost through the cracks trillions of dollars. As high I've seen in some estimates is $21 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw
Money
the college kids, Darren,
gone.
Suffer from, they don't get enough food. They can't pay the bills. They can't pay the tuitions. They're not eating properly. Mm-hmm. But we can lose $21 trillion to Brown and Root and Halliburton and all of these corporate interests in our so-called military endeavors. Butler knew what was going on. The American public evidently doesn't quite, because all we can see are those gravestones and the flags and the tanks and the salutes and the fireworks. We don't see the rape on the floors in Abu Ghraib.
And we can see the return of typhus in Los Angeles among the homeless.
Yeah, how much would it cost to fix that?
Yeah.
How much would it cost to give them all homes? $21 trillion, and we don't have a cost we couldn't meet for anything. You could pave every road.
Let's just say this.
Pay every tuition.
It's not that we don't have the money. It's that we don't have the right values to direct that money where it needs to go.
Because the U.S. military has made sure our values stay in this mythical fear that we need more money to promote democracy and protect ourselves. And they'll make sure you get a burial and you get honored and you get filmed. You want to know the number one film you're going to see on evening news is one more arrival of a soldier at the airport with the family coming and running with arms around. Yep. Is it touching? You bet. And they milk it to the tune of trillions of dollars for their interest. Mm-hmm. Not our interest, not the parents' interest.
No.
Not democracy interest, the corporate interest.
Exactly. I want to move on to our next story here. Bob Mueller, Robert Mueller, the special counsel, gave a speech or gave a presentation Wednesday to the media where he flat out said, the reason that I didn't indict Trump is because I'm hamstrung by the Department of Justice. As Trump said back when he was campaigning, that he could walk out in the middle of the street, middle of Fifth Avenue, and shoot somebody. Are you saying that if he does that now as president, you can't prosecute him? That's ridiculous. So Trump responded to Mueller's comments, his statements, and this is just off-the-wall nuts. Take a listen.
I think Mueller is a true never-Trumper. He's somebody that dislikes Donald Trump. He's somebody that didn't get a job that he requested, that he wanted very badly, and then he was appointed. And despite that, and despite $40 million, 18 Trump haters, including people that work for Hillary Clinton and some of the worst human beings on earth, they got nothing. It's pretty amazing. No, Russia.
Hold on. Now, the question was asked, do you believe that Russia helped you get elected? Now, listen to this.
Not help me get elected. You know who got me elected? You know who got me elected? I got me elected. Russia didn't help me at all. Russia, if anything, I think helped the other side. What you ought to ask is this. Do you think the media helped Hillary Clinton get elected? She didn't make it. But you take a look at collusion between Hillary Clinton and the media. You take a look at collusion between Hillary Clinton and Russia. She had more to do in the campaign with Russia than I did. I had nothing to do. And by the way, that's one other thing. If you look, this was all about Russia, Russia, Russia. They don't talk about Russia anymore because it turned out to be a hoax. It was all a hoax. And then they say, gee, he fought back. Isn't that terrible? He fought back. Of course I fight back. Because it was a false accusation. A totally false accusation. And it's a disgrace. And it's a very sad period for this country. And I think in the end, I will consider what's happening now to be one of my greatest achievements, exposing this corruption.
And then he is asked about impeachment, and then he has this to say about impeachment.
How they can, because they're possibly allowed, although I can't imagine the courts allowing it. I've never gone into it. I never thought that would even be possible to be using that word. To me, it's a dirty word, the word impeach. It's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word, and it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, that's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word. Well, we have some actual dirty, filthy, disgusting words from Donald Trump.
Hang on.
Yeah, you better listen to this.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and her. She was married.
It's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the p***. I can do anything.
Oh, yeah. But that's not vulgar words, according to Trump. Unbelievable. Well, we do have something that's less vulgar, but it does involve words. We need to play the appropriate music for this segment.
Hammer time.
Yeah, it's hammer time. This is where we drop the hammer on the douchebag of the week. Got this from the Sacramento Bee. The Fresno Grizzlies have apologized to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a scoreboard video shown during Monday night's doubleheader that appeared to equate her with Kim Jong-un and Fidel Castro. The video was 3.5 minutes long, called a Memorial Day tribute, We Are Americans. It's mostly filled with patriotic-themed images playing behind excerpts from the first inaugural speech of Ronald Reagan. At about 3 minutes into this video, it shows an image of an Antifa member, then the North Korean leader Kim, then Ocasio-Cortez, then the late Cuban leader Castro. The images are seen as Reagan arrives at this point in his speech where he says, quote, "As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries," end of quote. The Grizzlies apologized in a statement saying that they didn't view the video all the way through. They should have looked at it. We apologize. And apparently the apology is not enough because Sun-Made Raisins has withdrawn their sponsorship from the Fresno Grizzlies.
Good for them.
So has Tecate Beer and Dos Equis Beer.
Didn't know about it.
You'll have to stay thirsty, my friends. You're not going to get any Dos Equis at the Fresno Grizzly games anymore.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew just exactly what they were doing, and they thought that they could get away with it. And then when they didn't get away with it, now they backpedal. Now they, run the bicycle backwards.
We were talking about efficient backpedaling like Trump had over the McCain incident, draping a shroud over the McCain name because it would bother our president. I mean, these guys, you talk about moonwalking, right, with Jackson.
Oh, but
they're slip, man. They're gone.
But he never authorized that. He didn't know anything about that. Yeah, so for the Fresno Grizzlies, we have this message for you.
Don't be a douchebag.
That's right. Jack, I love the way you're dancing over there across from me. Hey, Fresno Grizzlies, don't be douchebags. Unbelievable.
Just because your douchebag president thought he could get away with the falling of the 9/11 towers silhouetted behind AOC, you don't think you can do it out there in California.
Yeah.
You're not as talented as Trump in that crap.
Yeah.
You think you are.
And then I've got an off-the-cuff story. This is a bizarre one, so this is why I picked this. Apparently, there has been a lawsuit. This is by the Hollywood Reporter. The heirs of the two men who created the Andy Griffith Show's theme song are suing CBS for allegedly using the work without a license. Earl Hagen and Herbert Spencer wrote the song in the 1950s. They registered its copyright in 1960. The rights were later transferred to their partnership, Larrabee Music. After both men died, Larrabee Music was dissolved, and the rights were inherited to the Diana R. Spencer Trust and the Hagen Family Trust, and partial copyright ownership was given to the Hagen Children's Trust and the Hagen Decedents Trust. They are now saying that CBS is exploiting the theme without a license by selling DVDs of the series. They say that there was a 1978 agreement that did not cover video reproduction and video sales. Unbelievable. So, could you imagine watching the Andy Griffith Show without that theme?
Right.
Wow. And there was I'll have to tell you this story off the air about what WWE has to do with all of their music, the videos, because some of the territories used copyrighted music and didn't get rights back in the day. Anyway, we are out of time for this week. I'm Darren Gibson.
I'm Jack Prince.
For our announcer, Kristen Cook, please support independent media and the First Amendment.
The stations that carry Southpaws do not necessarily share the opinions expressed on the show. Southpaws is protected by the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and is copyrighted by Big D Entertainment. All rights reserved.